Okay, we are live. So, I was just going through the pattern applications, and this discussion has been the main discussion for the longest time. I mean, for the last 2005, the Patent Act was amended. Act is basically the patent law. So take the three-letter word Act (ACT) as law, LAW. So Act is equal to law is equal to the number 85. So we are only going to concentrate on 85 and code it the way it has to be, so that the chaos in the entropy can be minimized. Right now, so much there's so many players in terms of the understanding of the players. So I'll try and explain my way. I was just having a discussion with someone who is in the patent industry, and so we understand that a lot of resources are required for the training of the patent examiners. And at the same point of time, it has been noted a lot of cases have been filed because of this nexus between the patent firms, the law firms who are working in the IPR, or the corporate firms, the M&A firms based out in India in different capacities, that the patent grant itself is not scrutinized in terms of something is filed in 2011. I mean, there was an application which was filed in 2011, and the examination report was issued somewhere in 2016, 2017. Now the point of contention here is it has been seen, and it's not that it's a complaint, it is a reality check for the intellectual property rights in India, that the application is filed, and in some of the cases, even if Form 18, 18A, whatever the numbers are being filed, the reports are not being issued. However, the reports are being issued to other people, and the grant process is expired dated. So this the way the things are working is not generating revenue for the government. What India needs to understand in terms of the totality, in terms of the diplomats and everyone, is we have to learn from our neighbors. We have to learn the trade to earn the fiat currency. And the easy way out is to allow, like, anybody can file the application. They could go for the party patents, which is valid for 10 years. Uh, and even when that validity is there, they file it with the claims, blah, blah, blah. You can always file for the post grant opposition. Now, even that certificate is granted, at least let the entities work the way they have to work. And at the same point of time, the postground opposition is on. And at the same point of time, that particular application, which is a party patent for 10 years, it can still go through the process, and they can file for the request for examination in the best possible way. So this has nothing to do with the patent prosecution highways, let me tell you. That is a very different concept. It is basically, if you are able to get the patent in one country, and these countries have some kind of associations and they have signed the treaty, then you can just file in the application and you get the patent granted in that particular country. That being said, what is important right now is to understand the concept of this tenure. If you don't want to make it 10-year, make it 5-year, 3-year, 2-year. I mean, if people have to play this number game, which I don't understand in terms of the understanding of this intersection between the Web 2.0 and Web 3.0, it's very different. So we have to appreciate that fact. However, most of the patent applications are not being reviewed, just saying that, the examiners overloaded or new batch of examiners are being recruited. That is not solving the problem. I mean, then the whole ethos of the sad part, let me talk about the sad part of it. What is Niti Aayog doing? I mean, why Niti Aayog is in place at the first place? I don't understand. Because I remember when I was in Geneva way back, so one of the diplomat came to me and he was talking about, why don't you join Niti Aayog? I said, I cannot be communicating to walls, because these walls don't understand intellectual property rights. And I'm not here to explain anybody what intellectual property rights is. It's a very niche. um I would rather say it's a configuration of the brains and the intellect, which is the, I won't say the best. It is always work in progress when we talk about the quantum stuff, and so much is happening right now. So this quantum stuff also. Do you think we are going to file the patent in India? Answer is big no. It's just that the research papers and the people are connected. The quantum can work and is working. Folks who understand that will appreciate that. Now, the point of contention here is how the revenue has to be generated. And the worst part right now, I sat for the exam in 2006, and that exam was somewhere during the Diwali days. Again, corruption was at the high level. All these Remfi Sagars and Anands and everyone were pushing in gifts and everything. Just imagine we're sitting for the examination, and so many gifts are coming, and we could see that. And we were the, like, the budding intellectual property people in the country. And yeah, that was way back in 2006. The point of contention here is, I mean, the office was just renovated at that point of time because it was a brand new office. However, right now, it's in a situation I don't understand. So much money is being poured in as far as the fee structures and everything. Then why that money is not being utilized just to correct the basic infra has to be correct. So the point here is, if Niti Aayog has no work to be done, then these things should be scrapped out, because in the name of these ayogs and everything, a lot of money is being given to these people, and the output is null. Over, I would rather say, misusing the taxpayers' money in whatever way they can. And in the recent past, I did a amended application which was filed in more than, I mean, I'm the first one in the country to do that. Filed in so many countries. The government fees itself, if I talk about the Indian INR, was almost 8 lakh rupees approx, here and there. So 8 lakh rupees in this arena of the meltdown is a good amount for the countries to even understand and appreciate that what Madrid Protocol is all about. Now, the point of contention here is being the first for the first, and have been always been first, at least in the intellectual property rights. I'm not getting into the other aspects right now. What is the need of the hour is, the diplomats have to negotiate and say, okay, hey, let's, if somebody's filing, let them give them a certificate of this, the party patent, which is supposed to be 10 years. We can always work on it, and whatever number you want to give it, because I think India is under the consumption, no, I would say, India is under the impression that the multiple of fives is being coded the way they have coded things, because the input data itself is so wrong. I mean, the Aadhaar data and everything is totally wrong. And these things, or the due diligence was being done by, I don't know, from Bangalore people, and they recruited people in Delhi. And what did the Delhi people did in the early 90s, God only knows. We were kids at that point of time, but today I know exactly what has happened. But the point of contention here is not to crib on it, but to correct the input data and then figure out the things on that aspect. Coming back to the patenting work again, there's something called as party patents. We should go for it. Allow that. Once that is done, even if the claims are filed, they can always be completed to a utility patent. In that particular way, we can go for the pre-grant opposition, post-grant opposition. At the end of the day, we have to generate revenue for the government, because intellectual property rights is the only way to generate revenue as far the capitalistic way of working goes. So this is something I wanted to discuss. And yeah, I think let's work on that, the 85 part. Take the number 85 and do the calculations, and you will understand. Even for the patrinages, I think just look into whatever the numbers are, because most of the patronations whose name are there, they're not part of the ecosystem. Some are dead, some have left the profession, because it's a very, very intense profession as far as time, energy, and everything goes into it, the way it has to be worked upon. So just look into the Indian patent agents, from the number one, because I'm 1241. So where do I stand? Because there are a lot of people who have left, some are dead. So we have to look into that data set, and then see how we can code, and code in a way where the positivity is restored. Because most of these players, way back, I remember when I even sat for the exam, I don't want to even, name them. There's no point naming them. I have all the data sets. I'm coding my way because I know these guys my way. So I don't want to get into the negative part of what has been done as pattern agents and all these KPOs, which are based out in tier two and tier three cities, sitting at home and, complaining about XYZ, coming from XYZ colleges, doing XYZ. It's too much traumatic in terms of, how they have misused the intellect in the wrong way. And I think anything which is wrong needs to end. It has to be stopped. That's how the flow diagrams and the flow charts are there in any of the pattern applications. So just identify the pattern applications, look into the flow charts and the flow diagram. That's it. We don't have to go to the data set, and just prepare your own data set using the number 85. That's it. Do nothing else. I think that will take care. in multiple ways, because for the matter of fact, I myself had written so many telco applications where, I had given those stop points, and maybe those applications are not in the public domain, but I don't need to go and fetch that document. But what I know is we can just, identify not the leaky pipelines. We can just identify the pain points and close it as a stop in the online world, and let's see how it works in the offline world, that case. Thank you for watching out the video. Have a great day ahead.